Imagine, for a moment, that a new teacher at your school comes up to you and asks, "Are you creative?" What would you say? The answer depends on what you think creativity is. Now, a lot of people think that creativity is some rare gift that lets people produce amazing works of art or dream up incredible inventions. And they're right. Computers, intricate model cities, and fancy arts and craft projects are definitely examples of creativity. But that's only part of the picture. Let's take a much more down-to-earth situation. Every so often, you probably find you have to study for a big test on the night of your team's big game. You wouldn't want to let your team down. They're counting on you. So what do? Well, we can pretty much guarantee that you don't just put a bag on your head and give up. You aren't that sort of person. Instead, the chances are that you invent different ways of solving the problem. Now, it's possible that none of your ideas work. That happens. But the point is that you would create potential solutions, and that is being creative. Because in its simplest sense, creativity is the ability to come up with new and useful ideas which solve problems. Surely, there has to be more to it than that. After all, you spend your whole life running around solving problems. Is that all creativity is? Well, no, but focusing on problems is a great way to help you develop your creative talent. You see, not all problems are the same. There are lots of problems which you already know how to solve, without even thinking about it. Problems such as how to tie your shoelaces or how to ride a bicycle. The problems themselves might be hard, for example, passing an important test, but you do know how to do it. You don't have to invent anything new, you just need to study. Then there are problems which you really don't know how to solve. Problems such as how to stop a bullying situation, or you hate having to wait in the car while your brother or sister plays tennis, or even, my friends keep pressuring me to do something that I don't want to do. These problems don't have a single correct answer, so you have to invent a way of solving them. Generating the solutions requires creativity. So it's probably better to say that creativity is the ability to come up with ideas which solve novel problems. Now, if creativity is so simple and straightforward, and if you're being creative most of the time anyway, what's the point of this program? Well, the simple answer is that even though we're naturally able to think creatively, we often put limits on our thinking, and so don't do as well as we could. In other words, we get in our own way. Let's look at how that happens. How would you feel about a bowl of some nice crab-flavored ice cream? Now, this isn't a made-up dish. Heston Blumenthal, who's a chef at a restaurant called the Fat Duck, offers this as one of his special dishes. However, people are often put off by the name. Their minds judge the idea so quickly that their mouths never get a chance to express an opinion. This ability to judge ideas is hugely important. It's the reason that we don't climb up electricity pylons just to find out what 50,000 volts really feels like. However, because judgment is so important to our survival, we've tended to overdevelop it. And this means that we've become too good at spotting what's bad with an idea instead of being able to see what might be good about it. To get round this problem in his restaurant, Heston simply talked about the food in a different way. Instead of calling it ice cream, it became frozen soup. So by doing this, he fooled people's judgment into thinking it was a reasonable idea, and this allowed them to try something completely new. Now, when it comes to solving problems, it turns out that you are much, much more effective if you can turn off your judgment for a while, so that you can explore lots of what-ifs, and then turn your judgment back on when you need to make a choice. So, we know you have the ability to be creative. You show it every day. And we also know that your mind does such a good job of trying to help you survive that it screens out lots of interesting ideas because they don't seem sensible. So how might you persuade your mind to explore strange ideas a little longer? Well, to make it easy for you, we're going to give you some simple steps that we'd like you to practice over the next few days. Here are the first 2 steps. Number 1, delay your judgment. When you're dreaming up possibilities, try to give every idea a chance. Strangely, this means that you should also try not to get too enthusiastic about any one idea, because that tends to limit your creativity as well. Second, capture all your ideas, thoughts, observations, write them down in your workbook, or if you see something interesting, snap it with your camera phone. This is really important. You must capture your ideas, because otherwise they'll just float away. So your task, using these 2 steps, is to come up with at least 15 new ideas for things you'd like to see happen at school. Try not to think about whether the ideas are good or bad, whether they're useful or totally impractical. Just create ideas. Now that might sound like a lot, but when you start paying attention to your thoughts, we are sure that you'll be amazed at just how many ideas you have. Are you still here? You don't have time to listen to this anymore. Go and get on with it.